ML Toys here to give you troubleshooting help for our most popular question, why am I blowing fuses or breakers on my vehicle? So what we have here is exactly how a Power Wheels works just outside of the vehicle. No matter what brand it is, all vehicles work basically the same. You have a battery pack, which will have a fuse or a circuit breaker with it. You have a wiring harness on the vehicle, which will go to a foot plunger switch of some kind. And then from there, it will go on to either a shifter, which changes the car from forward to reverse and from low speed forward to high speed forward. Or you'll have some form of an electronic speed controller or a circuit board in the car. And then from there, the wires are going to continue out to 1 or 2 motor gearboxes. Now, the reason a fuse blows on a car is that there's too much resistance anywhere in the system that's causing a backup in power flow. Think of a highway where there's a car accident. Just because the fuse blows here, meaning the traffic is backed up here, it might be because there's an accident that happened here backing up the system. That's what the fuse is designed to do, is blow before you blow one of your electronic modules. The fuse on most cars are around 30 amps stock. As soon as you modify anything on a car, you need to change the fuse or breaker to a 40 amp capable one. So if you increase the voltage, if you put a bigger motor in the car, as soon as you add power, we go to 40 amps, and that 40 amp handles all the backyard play modifications all the way through 24 volts and 775 motors. Now, if you're still blowing a 40 amp fuse, we have to look at the causes of it. Again, think of a highway, and what we're looking for is what's causing the traffic jam. Where can't that energy flow fast enough? In the motor gearbox assembly, if the motor is straining too hard, that's an accident, and that's going to cause a problem. Reasons motors can strain too hard is there's too much weight on the car, there's too much resistance in the form of tall grass or hills that are hard to climb, or if you've modified your motor and gearbox, if your gear mesh is too tight inside the gearbox, that can cause it to blow. Also, if you didn't break your motors in properly, then the brushes are arcing and sparking a lot, and that can cause fuses to blow. Make sure you always follow your break-in instructions. The wire harness itself, on older vehicles, you can get corrosion in the wires. If you see that the copper wires are now black or green colored, then it's time to replace that harness. Most common place to see that is where it connects to the foot pedal assembly. Since I mentioned foot pedal assembly, this is one of the most common switches for the analog style vehicles, and we'll see a lot of corrosion get to the bottom of them sometimes. These switches are cheap and easy to replace, and again, make sure you replace the connections at the bottom if you see that corrosion on there, because again, that corrosion is going to slow the flow of electricity down, cause the fuse to blow before you blow something else. Now, if you have a traditional shifter style setup on your car, again, analog, no circuit board in your car, you're going to have 2 shifter switches on the bottom. Same thing, these will age over time. You got little kids jamming these shifters all the time, and they're out in the weather, so corrosion can get to them as well. These these switches are cheap and easy to replace. The ones we sell are tested to make sure that they can handle 24 volts of power, and you can still run them at 12. So another quick, easy thing to replace. These shifters are very easy to open up and change the switches out on. The other thing you might have, even if you have a shifter, you still may have a circuit board on there. This is our electronic speed controller. Other brands have their own form. Generally on circuit boards, there's no repairing to them, but if they're going bad, if there's corrosion on them, or they're not designed for the amount of power you're putting through them, then you're going to need to replace the board. Even on a 12-volt vehicles, we found most brands, their circuit boards can handle 18 volts. We can't guarantee that, of course. They only design them for 12. There's no way any stock speed controller that we've seen as of the recording of this will handle 24 volts, or will handle lithium batteries without proper lithium protection. So we do have electronic speed controllers designed for 24 volts that you can put into your vehicle. That's the basics on fuse blowing. So do make sure that you are running a 40 amp fuse. And that you go through your system to check the health of it. Sometimes you can even feel a hot spot after, like right after a fuse blows. If you go feel the bottom of the foot pedal or the bottom of the shifter, it may feel a little warmer than the rest, and that can help you discover where your fuse might be blowing from. Another troubleshooting tip from ML Toys.